Imagine waking up one day to find yourself the epicenter of a cosmic war, an invisible battle raging in the spirit realm where forces of unimaginable power fight over your destiny. You are not just a bystander, you are the spark that ignited this conflict. Today we will explore what it truly means to carry such a calling and how you can rise above the chaos to fulfill your higher purpose. The burden and power of being the chosen one. You ever wonder what it truly means to be chosen, not just picked for a task, but chosen, set apart in a way that changes everything? When you become the chosen one, you step into a role that carries both immense power and an overwhelming burden. You see, being chosen is not about comfort or ease. It's about responsibility that shakes the very foundations of your existence. You walk a path where the forces of the unseen world, forces far beyond your comprehension, are watching, waiting, even battling over who you will become. You might ask, why me? Why was I chosen to carry such a weight? The answer is simple yet profound. Your life, your purpose, your very being is a catalyst for change. When you are chosen, you are the spark that ignites a fire that can bring transformation or destruction. This is not a title to be taken lightly. It's a calling that challenges every fiber of your being, testing your courage, your resolve, and your faith in yourself. But here's the twist. The burden you carry comes with power. Yes, power. Power that can move mountains, shift realities, and challenge the status quo. The battle raging in the spirit realm over you is proof that you hold influence beyond the physical world. Heaven and hell, or whatever you want to call the opposing forces of light and darkness, are in conflict because your destiny affects the balance of everything. You are a prize, a game changer, and the outcome of this unseen war hinges on your choices. Now, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to want to run from this responsibility, but running is not an option. The chosen one is someone who rises, someone who faces the storm with boldness. You must understand that the challenges you face are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones designed to refine you, to prepare you for what's coming next. Ask yourself, are you ready to embrace both the burden and the power? Because the path ahead will test you in ways you never imagined. And here's where most stop. They fear the war, the unseen battles, the forces vying for control, but not you. You are called to move beyond fear and into your true purpose. This journey is not solitary. Forces align and collide around you, and you must learn how to navigate the battlefield of the spirit realm with wisdom and strength. But before we dive deeper into that realm, into how you can stand firm when heaven and hell are both fighting over you, consider this. How will you choose to wield your power? Will you let the war consume you, or will you rise as the victor? That question will shape everything. And as we move forward, we'll uncover what it means to navigate this cosmic battlefield, how to claim victory when caught between forces far greater than yourself. Stay with me, because what comes next will challenge what you think you know about your destiny and about the war raging for your soul. This is no ordinary conflict. This is a battle that rages beyond what the eye can see, beyond the world we walk in daily. When destiny calls you, it's not just a gentle whisper, it's a thunderous roar that shakes the spirit realm itself. Suddenly, the forces of light and darkness are pulled into a cosmic tug of war, and you are the prize at the center of it all. Why? Because destiny is not a quiet path, it's a force of nature, a catalyst for change that disrupts the natural order of things. When your destiny is awakened, it challenges the very fabric of the unseen world. It threatens established powers and unsettles those who have grown comfortable in their dominion. And that, my friend, is why a war is sparked, because change always demands a battle. Now imagine this. Forces you cannot see, energies you cannot fully understand, are maneuvering, plotting, and fighting over you. Heaven and hell, two opposing realms, both with their own interests, are locked in a fierce struggle because your destiny threatens to rewrite the rule. It's like being caught in a storm you didn't create, but one that you have to navigate with skill, strength, and clarity. What's even more fascinating is that this cosmic battle is not just about power, it's about purpose. Your destiny carries a message, a mission that has the potential to transform not only your life, but the entire spiritual landscape. And the moment you embrace that mission, you become a lightning rod, attracting forces that want to use you or stop you from fulfilling your true calling. Ask yourself, how does it feel to know you are the spark of a war? Do you freeze or do you rise? Do you try to run or do you stand tall and say, I am ready? Because this is the crossroads where many falter. But those who succeed are the ones who understand that this battle is not just external, it's internal. A war within your own spirit that must be won before the external forces can be overcome. You see, when destiny sparks a cosmic battle, it reveals your true nature. It forces you to confront your fears, your doubts, and the limits you once thought you had. But here's the secret: on the other side of that battle lies freedom, power, and the ultimate fulfillment of your purpose. So how do you prepare for a war you cannot see? How do you position yourself to win when the stakes are higher than ever? That's the question that will lead us into our next conversation. Because to win this cosmic war, you must first learn to navigate the battlefield of the spirit realm with wisdom and strategy. Get ready, because the story only deepens from here. The question is, will you let the battle consume you, or will you master the conflict and rise as the victor? Stay tuned, because next we uncover the secrets of surviving and thriving in the invisible battlefield all around you. Have you ever felt like you're caught in a storm that no one else can see? That's exactly what it feels like when you find yourself standing on the invisible battlefield of the spirit realm. This is a place where the ordinary rules don't apply, where forces beyond human understanding are locked in a relentless struggle, and you are right in the middle of it. The question is, how do you navigate a battlefield you cannot see, yet one that affects every fiber of your being? First, you must understand that this battlefield is not just about conflict, it's about influence, control, and the future. It's a place where every choice you make sends ripples across realms, where your decisions can tip the scales toward victory or defeat. You don't just carry your own fate, you carry the hopes and fears of entire spiritual forces. It's a weight many cannot bear, but those who do become the true masters of their destiny. Now, the spirit realm operates differently from our physical world. There are no clear lines drawn, no visible weapons, no obvious signs of battle. The war here is fought in whispers, in thoughts, in moments of doubt and clarity. It's subtle but powerful. This is why most people are unaware they are in the midst of a war. They see only the surface, unaware of the spiritual forces at play beneath. So how do you survive? How do you win in a battle where your opponent is invisible? The key is awareness. You must develop the ability to sense, to perceive, to recognize the spiritual dynamics that surround you. This is not about fear, it's about preparation. It's about training your mind, your spirit, and your will to operate on a higher level of consciousness. When you learn to navigate this battlefield, you start to see patterns. You recognize when you are being tested, when distractions are designed to pull you off course, or when negative forces try to manipulate your emotions and decisions. Awareness becomes your shield, your compass, your weapon. But awareness alone is not enough. You need strategy. Every warrior who wins a battle knows the importance of strategy. You must understand the forces arrayed against you, their tactics and their weaknesses. You must also know your own strength, your gifts, your calling, and your purpose. Because the battlefield is not just about defense, it's about advancing, reclaiming ground, and moving toward your destiny with intentional power. Ask yourself, are you ready to step into this higher level of awareness? Are you prepared to take control of your place in this war, rather than be a pawn in forces beyond your control? Because that decision will define your journey. As we prepare to dive deeper into the clash between light and darkness, the forces fighting over you, remember this: navigating the battlefield is the first step to mastering it, and mastering it means claiming your true power. What comes next is the real challenge: standing firm when both heaven and hell are fighting for your soul. Will you learn to rise above the chaos, or will you be consumed by it? The answer awaits in the next part of our journey. Like two powerful forces are pulling you in opposite directions, each fighting fiercely for control over your destiny. This is the reality when you are caught between heaven and hell, or more simply put, between the forces of light and darkness. But what does that really mean for you? And how do you survive when the very essence of who you are is being contested in a war far bigger than yourself? This conflict isn't just a metaphor, it's real, and it's happening right now on a level you might not fully see, but definitely feel. The tension in your mind, the battle over your decisions, the constant push and pull between what lifts you up and what drags you down, these are signs that you're in the middle of a spiritual conflict, and the stakes, nothing less than your freedom, your power, and your future. You might wonder, why would such powerful forces be interested in one person? Because you are the chosen one. You carry a destiny so significant, so disruptive, that it threatens the established order of both realms. This makes you a prize, a target, and a battle. Every thought you think, every choice you make, sends shockwaves through this unseen war. It's a heavy load, and it requires strength you may not even know you have. But here's the truth, being caught in this conflict doesn't mean you are helpless. In fact, it's the opposite. This struggle is a sign of your power. The forces fighting over you know your value. They know that whoever wins you wins the future. So they push, they pull, they tempt, and they test. The question is, how do you respond? You respond by becoming aware. You respond by learning to recognize the tactics of both sides. The force of light calls you to rise, to live your highest purpose, to bring transformation. The force of darkness tries to confuse, to paralyze, to keep you small and this conflict is about control, but more importantly, it's about choice. Every day, you face decisions that tip the balance. Will you let fear control your steps? Will you allow doubt to silence your voice? Or will you stand firm, claim your power, and move forward despite the battle raging around you? But standing firm is not easy. It demands courage, clarity, and a deep connection to your true self. Because the moment you realize you are the prize in this war, you must also realize that your victory is possible only when you own your power completely. So ask yourself, how will you navigate this conflict? Will you let the war define you, or will you define the war? Because this is the moment that determines your path. And as we move forward, the question deepens. How do you harness this power to shift the balance? How do you rise above the conflict and become the victor in a battle that seems impossible to win? That answer lies ahead, as we explore what it means to shake the very foundations of reality with the power you hold. Stay close, because what comes next will reveal the secret to transforming your spiritual conflict into unstoppable power. Have you ever stopped to think about the true power of your purpose, not just as a personal goal or dream, but as a force so strong it shakes the very foundations of reality itself? Yes, your purpose is that powerful. When you step into your calling, you don't just change your own life, you ripple out into the world around you in ways you can't even begin to imagine. This is why your destiny causes conflict in the spirit realm. Your purpose is a force that disrupts the natural order, forcing unseen forces to take notice, and sometimes to fight back. You might wonder, how can a single person's purpose have such a seismic impact? The answer lies in understanding that purpose is not a small thing. It is not limited by your circumstances, your fears, or even your doubts. Purpose is the blueprint of your existence. It is the very reason you were created, the unique power embedded in you that compels the universe to align with your vision. When your purpose awakens, it causes shifts. Shifts in people, shifts in opportunities, and shifts in the spiritual atmosphere that surrounds you. Think about it. Every major change in history began with someone who refused to settle, who stepped boldly into their purpose, despite the odds. That ripple effect reaches far beyond the physical world. It shakes realities, both seen and unseen. That's why the forces of heaven and hell are so invested in your journey. They know the power your purpose holds, and they want to influence it to their advantage. But here's the catch. Shaking the foundations of reality comes with resistance. You will face opposition. You will encounter challenges that seem bigger than you, because when you move the world pushes back. This is the paradox of purpose. The greater the impact you are meant to have, the harder the battle will be. So what do you do when your purpose shakes the world, and the world shakes you back? You stand firm. You remember that the power within you is stronger than any obstacle outside. Your purpose is your anchor in the storm. It is the force that guides you through conflict, doubt, and fear. Now I want you to ask yourself, are you ready to fully embrace the power of your purpose? Are you prepared to withstand the resistance, to rise above the opposition, and to shake the foundations of reality for good? Because this is the turning point. This is where you stop being a passive participant and become the catalyst for transformation. But here's what you need to know. Power alone is not enough. To truly fulfill your purpose, you must learn how to wield it wisely, how to channel it strategically, and how to protect it from the forces that want to steal it from you. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. How invisible wars wage over your influence, and what it takes to claim your victory. The battle is not just about power, it's about mastery. Stay with me, because the next step will reveal the key to unlocking your true influence and securing your place in this cosmic war. Have you ever stopped to consider that there's a war being waged over your very soul and influence? A war so invisible, so subtle, that most people don't even realize it's happening. This isn't some distant story or an abstract idea. This is reality, a reality where forces beyond your control are battling for your allegiance, your power, and your future. But here's the question: how do you recognize a war you can't see? How do you fight a battle when the enemy is hidden in plain sight? You see, your soul, your essence, your true self, is the prize in this conflict. It's the core of who you are, the foundation of your influence, and the gateway to your destiny. When these invisible forces fight over you, they're not just after your actions, they're after your identity. They want to shape your thoughts, manipulate your emotions, and control your decisions. This war is psychological, emotional, and spiritual all at once. The battle for your influence is just as fierce. Influence is power. It's the ability to affect others, to shape outcomes, to change environments. And those who understand this fight for your influence, because they know whoever controls influence, controls the future. The forces vying for you don't just want to keep you, they want to bend your influence, to serve their agenda, to tip the scales in their favor. But here's the challenge: how do you protect what you can't see? How do you guard your soul and influence when the war is hidden? The first step is awareness. Awareness that this war exists. Awareness that every choice you make sends signals in the spirit realm. Awareness that your thoughts, your emotions, your actions are weapons in this battle. Then comes the decision. Do you surrender to the pressures, the distractions, the doubts, or do you take control? Do you decide to be the master of your soul, the commander of your influence? This decision separates those who are merely surviving from those who are thriving, those who are victims from those who are victors. And thriving in this invisible war means developing a strategy. It means learning how to identify attacks that come disguised as temptation, fear, or confusion. It means building inner strength, resilience, and clarity of purpose. You must become intentional about protecting your mind and heart, about aligning your actions with your highest vision. Ask yourself, are you ready to take up the fight? Are you prepared to guard your soul and influence with everything you've got? Because this battle is real and it will not wait for you to be ready. It's already happening. But winning this war is more than defense. It's about unleashing the power within you to change the course of this conflict. And that leads us to the next critical question: how do you rise above the turmoil and harness your true power amidst spiritual warfare? That answer is coming up next. So stay with me, because what you learn next could be the difference between victory and defeat in this invisible war. Have you ever felt a fire burning inside you? A power that's waiting to be unleashed? A strength that's bigger than any challenge you face? That power is real, and it's within you right now, even as spiritual warfare rages around you. But here's a crucial question: how do you tap into that power? How do you unlock the force within that can shift the entire battle in your favor? First, understand this: power is not something you find outside of yourself. It's not dependent on circumstances other people, or external validation. Power is in you. It's the core of your being, the energy of your purpose, the force that connects your destiny to the fabric of the universe. When you awaken this power, you move from being a victim of the battle to a victor in the war. But awakening power isn't automatic. It requires intention. It requires you to believe in your own capacity, even when the world around you seems to say otherwise. It requires you to stand firm in your purpose, to refuse to be swayed by fear, doubt, or distraction, because the forces fighting over you want to keep you small, powerless, and afraid. So how do you unleash this power? It starts with self-awareness, knowing who you truly are beneath all the noise and confusion. It means recognizing your strengths, your gifts, and your unique role in this cosmic conflict. When you know yourself, you command respect from others and from the unseen forces that battle for your allegiance. Next comes focus. Power without direction is chaos. You must focus your energy on your purpose, on your mission, on what you were born to do. This focus creates momentum. It creates clarity. It builds an unstoppable force that drives you forward, no matter the opposition. And then there's action. Power only becomes real when it's put into motion. When you take deliberate steps toward your destiny, you activate that power. Every decision, every move, every moment of courage is a spark that lights the way and pushes back the darkness. Ask yourself, what would happen if you fully unleashed your power? What if you stopped holding back, stopped doubting, stopped waiting for the perfect moment? What if you stepped boldly into your calling, knowing that the power within you is greater than any force trying to stop you? That's the breakthrough. The moment you realize you are not just a participant in this spiritual war, you are a warrior, equipped with power that can transform your reality and the world around you. But here's the truth. Power comes with responsibility. And the next step in this journey is learning how to master that power, how to use it wisely, and how to protect it from those who want to steal it from you. The question now is, are you ready to take control of your power and become the master of your destiny? Because what comes next will show you how to protect your power and keep it shining bright amidst the fiercest battles. Stay with me, because the secret to mastering your power is just ahead. Have you ever realized that power without mastery is like a flame without control? It burns bright but can just as easily consume everything around it, including you. In the midst of a spiritual battlefield, mastering your power is not optional. It's essential. Because power alone is not enough. It must be guarded, directed, and used with wisdom. Otherwise, it becomes a liability, not a blessing. So what does it mean to master your power? It means taking full responsibility for the force within you. It means understanding that your power affects not only your own life, but the lives of those around you, and even the spiritual forces that watch your every move. Mastery requires discipline, the kind of discipline that keeps you grounded, focused, and aligned with your true purpose, no matter what chaos surrounds you. In the battlefield of spirit realms, there are forces that will try to steal your power. They come disguised as distractions, doubts, fears, and temptations. They whisper lies designed to undermine your confidence and shake your resolve. But when you have mastered your power, you recognize these attacks for what they are. You refuse to give your energy away to forces that seek to derail your destiny. Mastering your power also means protecting your influence. Influence is the currency of power. It's what determines whether you lead or follow, whether you create change or become a bystander. When you guard your influence, you are guarding the very essence of your impact on the world. You become selective about who and what you allow to affect your thoughts, your emotions, and your decisions. Ask yourself, how often do you allow external voices to dictate your value? How often do you surrender your influence to fear, negativity, or toxic environments? Mastering your power demands that you set boundaries, clear lines that protect your spirit and your mission. Boundaries that say, I am in control. My power is not up for grabs. But here's the reality. Mastering power is a daily commitment. It's not a one-time achievement. The battlefield never goes quiet. New challenges arise. New temptations appear. That's why mastering your power requires constant vigilance, ongoing self-awareness, and an unshakable connection to your purpose. And here's the good news. When you master your power, you don't just survive the war, you thrive in it. You become a force of transformation, an unstoppable presence that shifts the spiritual atmosphere wherever you go. Your mastery becomes a beacon, drawing others into their own power and breaking the chains of the forces that once fought over you. Now, what does it look like to wield that mastery in everyday life? How do you keep your power strong and your influence positive when the battle seems endless? These questions lead us to the next revelation, the steps you must take to protect yourself from spiritual attacks and ensure your power remains untouchable. Get ready, because the next part will reveal practical wisdom on how to shield your spirit and secure your place as a victorious warrior in this invisible war. Have you ever felt attacked, not by people, but by forces beyond the visible, that threaten to steal your peace, your purpose, your power? These spiritual attacks come in many forms: doubt that clouds your mind, fear that paralyzes your steps, confusion that steals your clarity. But here's the critical truth. While these attacks are real, you are not powerless against them. In fact, protecting yourself and staying victorious is a skill that anyone with a purpose can learn. Protection begins with awareness. You must first recognize the nature of these attacks. They come disguised as temptation, distraction, discouragement, and sometimes even as false comfort. Their goal: to pull you away from your path, to weaken your resolve, and to rob you of your influence. When you can identify these attacks early, you gain the power to resist before damage is done. But awareness alone is not enough. You must develop strategies to defend yourself. One of the most powerful defenses is your mindset. Your thoughts are the battlefield. If you allow negative, fearful, or doubtful thoughts to take root, you give the enemy a foothold. So you must guard your mind fiercely. Replace doubt with conviction. Replace fear with courage. Replace confusion with clarity. Another essential defense is your environment. What you surround yourself with, who you spend your time with, what you expose your mind to, these all shape your spiritual climate. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with influences that uplift, encourage, and empower your purpose. Avoid toxic people and negative environments that drain your energy and weaken your defenses. Discipline is also key. Protection requires routine, regular practices that strengthen your spirit and sharpen your focus. Whether it's meditation, reflection, journaling, or focused action steps, these habits build resilience. They create a shield that deflects the attacks and keeps you centered, even in the fiercest storms. Ask yourself, how disciplined are you in protecting your mind and spirit? How intentional are you about creating an environment where your power can thrive? Because victory doesn't come by accident, it comes by design. And here's the empowering truth. Every attack you withstand makes you stronger. Every time you stand firm in the face of fear or doubt, you build spiritual muscle. You become less vulnerable, more resilient, more unstoppable. But protection is only half the battle. To stay victorious, you must also learn to advance, to move forward boldly, to take your place as the chosen one in this great war. That means understanding your role in this conflict and how to turn every challenge into a stepping stone for your success. So what does it look like to rise and take your place? How do you transform from a target of attack into a leader of victory? Those answers await as we step into the final stage of your journey, a revelation that will unlock your full destiny and secure your triumph in this war between heaven and hell. Stay with me. The climax is coming, and it will change everything. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to claim your destiny? To not just dream about your purpose, but to step fully into the role you were born to play. The battle for your soul, your influence, your very existence, is not won by chance or by waiting for the perfect moment. It is won by those who decide to rise, decide to fight, and decide to take what is rightfully theirs. The moment you claim your destiny, you become the victor in a war that's been raging long before you were born. Claiming your destiny means stepping beyond fear and doubt. It means recognizing that you are not just a pawn in a cosmic game, but a powerful force with the authority to shape your own future. This is the turning point where you stop running from the battle and start leading. When you claim your destiny, you declare that no matter what forces come against you, no matter the challenges, no matter the opposition, you will not be moved. But how do you claim a destiny that seems so contested, so fought over by unseen forces? It begins with ownership. You must own your story, your purpose, your power. Stop looking outside for permission or validation. The power to win this battle lies within you. It lies in your decisions, your resilience, your faith in your own potential. Claiming your destiny also requires courage. The courage to stand alone if necessary. The courage to face rejection. The courage to keep moving forward when the path is unclear. It is in these moments of courage that you transform from a victim of circumstance into a victor of your own life. Think about the lives of those who have changed the course of history. They weren't immune to struggle, but they refused to be defined by it. They claimed their destinies despite the war raging around them, and that's exactly what you must do. As you claim your destiny, understand this. The war for your soul doesn't end with you. It's passed down, it ripples out. Your victory becomes a legacy, a beacon for others fighting their own battle. Your triumph changes the spiritual atmosphere, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. Now the question is, are you ready to claim your destiny? Are you prepared to be the victor in this great battle? Because the power to do so has always been inside you. The battlefield has been set, and the war continues, but so does the opportunity to rise. Remember this, you were born for this moment, you were made for this fight, and when you claim your destiny, you not only win the war, you transform the world. Rise now, step into your power, your destiny.